morning. Good morning. Good morning. Oh, I forgot to play one video. Let me play this right quick. Here we go. All right. So today's episode was pre-recorded. I've got a good reason for why it's pre-recorded though. So let me get back to the introduction and I'll tell you why it's important. So welcome to the Be Your Own Hero show. I'm your host. I'm Sekou Write. I am a professional speaker and an author again. Right? So couple things. First of all, I am a man who is recovering from a stroke, and that's big news. I think I've been forgetting to say that it's oh, did you see him? You see him pop up? Look at him. Look at him. He just wants to be live. I'm gonna let you be live. So all right. So anyway, what was I saying? The acronym is helping everyone reaps optimism. It also stands for high emotion radiates overflow. All right. So those two things, and I am not a professional advisor. So if you get an idea from what I say, go consult someone and get that done. Help yourself grow. And give us the early bit of inspiration for you. All right. And I think that's it. I think that's it in terms of the introductory things. I got distracted by the cat. But anyway, all right. So let's see. One streak is the first thing on my agenda. Run streak is my first thing on the agenda. So today's run streak was 170. Oh wait, no, you'll be seeing this on day 171. So yesterday was 170. I did it 170 yesterday, and so I ran about a mile, a little bit more than a mile. Stopped at the coffee shop and got something to drink, and it was a pretty hard day in terms of running. Like I got up at 5 a.m. 5 a.m. I was up. I was like, oh, let's go. Let's get it running. Let's get going. No, it did not happen. It did not happen until 9:30, 5 to 9:30. I'm trying to get up. And I kept on finding excuses of things to do, including sleep. I fell asleep, back to sleep a few times. And I was just like, I just couldn't do it. And then when I got out there, I saw her off so slow. And I was just like, but then I hit a stride and I got into the running. And yeah, sometimes you just don't even believe that your body will come join you on your quest. But I swear it will come. It will come as long as you last long enough. I say about half a mile. It got me good. And then by the time I got to a mile, I was like, yeah, I'm good. So that was day 70, 170, 170. And yeah, so that's my run streak info. All right, so let me start off with wait a minute. Start off with announcements. All right, so first of all, this is the month of June. June is my birthday month. Where's my book? Okay, here we go. So here we go. So my book, Hack Your Pain Now, is available on Amazon. And let me explain this. So people have been complaining about finding the book. or actually not finding the book, being able to buy it. So yes, I've experienced this. What you have to do is go to a website, like an actual website, not an app, not the Amazon app, which we all use, but the actual website, and then just order from there. So you just go type in, Amazon.com/ebooks, and it will take you to a place where you can type in Hack Your Pain Now, and it'll come up with an option to order. So for those of you who have had trouble, just go do that. Just go to Amazon.com/ebooks. Now I know it's going to be tricky because it's going to try to prompt you to go to your iPhone app or your app, whatever. So you got to work with it, but you can get it. Just go to Hack Your Pain Now on Amazon.com. All right. So that's piece of homework one. Okay. All right. Now that we got that, let's do this one. This is for my birthday month. My birthday month, I invite people to move their body, to exercise however they want, and just exercise their body for the 30 days of June. Now, some of you may not hear about it until today. You can still start. You can still start and do until the end of June, right? And just exercise. Just do something that you can do. Something that you can do every day. Something you can do every day. And there's a hashtag up there where you can put the hashtag in and join other people doing the same thing. All right, that's that. Next thing is purchase Hack Your Pain Now. Hack Your Pain Now is a book that I wrote before I had these troubles with my body, with having a stroke. And I think it was really divine order that I wrote this book. It was just sitting there on my hard drive and there for me to read it and therefore benefit from it, right? Because it helped me get out of it, helped me get through it. So I'm hoping that my book will be of help to you, whoever you are, whatever you're going through. This book may be helpful to you. So Hack Your Pain Now. If you want to check out my other books on Amazon, just go to Amazon and type in Sekou Write, and type in Sekou Write as one word. Sometimes it has it connected. But I've got about 4 or 5 books. I can't remember, but yeah. So there's that. And then also number 3 is donate now. So you're going to go to SekouWrite.com. That's my website, and go to charity running, and it's just right there on the billboard. Okay, now he leaves. So yeah, and now just place a donation there. Other people are donating for the number of miles that I've run. So I'm going to tally up all the miles for the month, and then I'll just display the monthly fee, and then you get to join in by giving a donation of that amount. All right, there we have it. The birthday month for you. The birthday month for you. All right, let's go. And by the way, 409 is a number of days that I ran at least a mile or more. 409 days. I can't even believe that. Okay, so that's it for the announcements. Now let's get into the show. So actually, let's move into money. By doing our affirmation. So I am so happy and grateful to be a multi-millionaire in every area of my life. I am so happy and grateful to be a multi-millionaire in every area of my life. Ashe. So that's effectively moving us towards money, right? So this is why it's important that I did this, because things happened right then. So I told you that I did my run. I ended it at Llamas, which is the Black-owned coffee shop, right? And I was sitting there, sitting outside, drinking my tea, reading my book. I decided I want to read The Richest Person in Babylon. All right, let me try to get that There we go. The richest person in Babylon. Right? Now, you've heard me talk about it, and you've heard me read it, but I finished it last night or this morning. I finished it this morning. And then at the coffee shop at Llama's, I started reading it again. And I caught all kinds of things that I didn't catch the first time, the second time. So this is the main thing. The main thing is that the people in the book, if you pay attention to their names, like read the names a couple of times, because they're names that aren't familiar to us, but read the names a couple of times. Read it. So that when that name comes up later, it fuses for you, because all of the names, I've realized, now that I've started the book over, all the names coincided with the telling of other stories. So I was like, oh, this is so great. So I've mentioned this before, but I didn't have it clearly. But now I have it clearly. So, case in point, I started with the first story, right? First story is about this charioteer. He makes chariots. And his homeboy hits him up and say, hey man, let me hold money till payday. I pay you back on payday. And this is an exchange that they have often, right? And the guy, the charioteer says, I ain't got it this year, this week. I ain't got it this week, right? And what his friend notices is, despite just saying that, is how depressed he sounds when he says, I don't have it. And so they have a conversation about money. And so what the charioteer is doing is he's thinking about it. He's had an actual dream of money, of having money, gold and silver, and houses and all those things that come with wealth in his mind. But then he woke up and none of it was real. And he was waiting for money. Dig that. He was waiting for money. Waiting for money. So he's waiting for a lottery. He's waiting for some of the people that he makes chariots for to suddenly give him lots of money. Like he's waiting for someone to give him money. And doesn't that ring true? Because, I mean, all of us have done it, right? Waiting for the lotto to come. We're going to play the lotto. We're going to get that number, right? We're expecting life to give us money. That's not how it works. So anyway, he's waiting for someone to give him money. And then they two of them talk back and forth. And they decide that they're going to address this one particular person and ask him how he became wealthy. Now this person they're asking his advice from is important because he's a friendly person. He's friendly to them, right? He's got lots of money, but he's friendly to them. So they ended the story by going to ask him his advice. Now I remember I was waiting to see what was going to happen with him, right? But it doesn't happen like that. So I have to go back and read the book and read the names and see where they're mentioned elsewhere, right? Okay, so case in point, as they're talking, they talk about wait a minute, what am I talking about? Oh, they talk about this woman, that wealthy man, his daughter, the wealthy man's daughter, right? And so they talking about his daughter and how she just blew up like 2 seconds flat when she went to this particular town, right? But then I skipped in the book up until maybe it's chapter 7 or so, and she is telling the story. She, who they were just talking about, is telling the story. And she's telling the story about how she went to this town and she fell on hard times. There was no luxury at all. It was terrible. And she went under. I was trying to think of of how I was going to tell this. Okay, so let me tell her story. So she received two gifts from her father. Her father, who they are going to interview, that the charioteer and their friend are going to interview, right? So he gave his daughter a bag of gold and instructions on what to do with the gold, right? Now, what she did is what most of us do. She spent the money. She spent the money. She spent the money. She invested it in quick advertisements that people came up with, and she's chipped in. One of them I remember was a track, like the track and field was a guy who was racing horses, and his horse was so fast nobody could beat him. All this stuff, and it got her to invest because it seemed like it was a sure thing, right? Well, it turns out that they were a scam team, and they would get everybody's money and move from this town to next town, this town to next town, this town to next town. And so she was one of the people who they got the money from, got her gold. So there's other things that happened to take her gold. So she ended up poor and destitute. What? Poor and destitute. So let's pause right there, because there's something to be said for children of wealth. There's something to be said for that, because you're around wealth and people think that you know about money, but unless you have a conversation with your parents, with whoever's around you that is providing you with wealth, then it's invisible to you. It's invisible, right? So it's very important now. Very important. If you are a son or daughter of privilege, right? Then you're accustomed to excess, right? But you don't know how to get it. You don't know really how to get it. Like, you know how to do things, get a job, whatever. Yeah, but that's not how to get wealth. How to get wealth is you must invest. You must invest. You must invest. And so let's get back to the lady. So she blows all her money, ends up living homeless. She's living homeless and just trying to make it work. And it's at this point, then she remembers her book, her tablets that her father gave her. The tablets that her father gave her that told her what to do with the money, what to do with gold, right? And it wasn't until she spent all the money that she starts thinking about, well, now I need to read this book. Well, she reads the book and she's like, oh wow, these rules are great. If I follow these rules from day one, I would have had all kinds of money. So let me see if I can do the first lesson, because I want to do each of the 5 lessons of this book through time, because I will have some guest hosts too. I also have some guest hosts, and so it might not happen in 1 week, is what I'm saying. But let's get to rule number 1. Rule number 1. All right. So again, this is the rich man that he gave to his daughter, and this was her first time reading his rules about gold. Right? Here we go. Ready? Gold comes easily and will increase in quantity to those who put aside at least 1/10 of their earnings to create wealth for their future and their families. Let me read it again. Gold comes easily and will increase in quantity to those who will put at least aside 1/10 of their earnings to create wealth for their future and their family. Right? Here's our friend again. He came in right on the money, right? Right on the money. So the important point here is you have to set aside 1/10. You have to set aside 1/10. Right, Nelson? Right, Nelson? You got to set aside 1/10. And this is critically important. So those of you who have grown up in well-to-do homes and have had the benefit of everything around you, you still you still you still need to set aside 1/10 of your earnings. 1/10. Take 10% and set that money aside. Set that money aside. Set that money aside. Set that money aside. That's the first rule. And trust me when I tell you that the more you do it, the more it appreciates. Because I remember sidebar. I remember when I first got involved in the stock market. This was during the pandemic, and before we were even calling it a pandemic, but at the beginning of the pandemic, I bet $1. $1. I can't remember what stock it was for. $1 on via the Cash App. I can't even tell you what stock I bought. I can't even tell you. I can't even remember. But I remember being so scared, about how it was going to show zero tomorrow. I put a $1 in and it's like, oh, it's going to be zero tomorrow. It's going to be zero tomorrow. And I looked and it was not zero. I was like, what? And I kept watching it. And it started to grow. Now, see, people get confused by this. People think that because it's growing slowly, they need something fast, something faster. No. You need your investment money to grow. So same thing you're trying to do with your savings account, right? Trying to get a savings account, get some money, get some return. That money does not grow nearly as fast as stock market money. Right? It's like this. Right? Right? Because what you get from a stock market account, from a savings account is, what is it, like $1 or something per year or something small like that. And even the best ones are still really small. But that dollar I put aside in the stock market, it started paying me money immediately. And I was like, what is this? And then it's paying me money immediately, even though I only owned $1, right? And I thought there would be stipulations in place that would keep me from investing properly. Like, okay, well, maybe if he gives a whole share, we'll give him some dividends to share. No, I owned $1 and I got dividends. So I was like, well, wait a minute now. What happens if I own a whole share? What? I get a full share of that money that's growing? That's it. So this is very important to you to understand some things. So number one, those of us that have grown up with fields in families that have had money, we have to pay attention to this advice, right? Don't think that you're inevitably you're stopped from this advice. Like, you've got to get this advice yourself. Wait a minute, no, that's not what I was trying to say. But you know what I was trying to say. I was trying to say that that you, talented child of all these blessings around you, need to learn how to manage your money. The first thing you need to do is to set aside 10% of your money, of whatever comes in. Set aside 10%. Invest it into something that works. Now, you haven't gotten to that on the list of rules yet, but the first one is set aside that 10%. But I'm adding, set aside that 10% into something that works, that manufactures money, like the stock market. Stock market is fast and good, All right. So yeah. So I think that's it. So once again, I'm going to leave this sentence, this last time. Gold comes easily and will increase in quantity to those who will put at least aside 1/10 of their earnings to create wealth for their future and their family. Now, setting aside the money at all is a point, because you've got to set aside the money, but you've got to set aside the money in a place where it will grow. It will grow. So I'm putting that in. That's the Sekou Write piece I'm putting in there. Save your 10% and invest it in the stock market. In the stock market, start investing in the stock market now, so you can get a chance to see how it feels, how it works, and just go, just go. All right, so that's what I got to say. Like I said, we're going to stick with this book and read the different chapters. There's 5 different chapters, 5 different rules. 5 different rules. That's rule number 1. So we'll read the other 4 rules and really get them into you. And so I hope you all will rock with me. And where we'll have a guest, we'll just have a guest. We'll just make it rock like that. All right. So I guess that's it. I already did my introduction, my announcements. So I guess that's it. All right. So I'll see you tomorrow. All right, later.